Hi, it's Elder. Today I want to share this UI tutorial showing you how to adjust the style of accordion, brick, and blocks. So we have a new project here. Let's just add the accordion brick. And well, by default, it looks like this. If we go to preview, you see that this is basically like a very short link. You can see it is very short, and you need to click on it to open or close the question or whatever you have as a FAQ question probably. And if you click here, it's not gonna do anything. You need to click exactly on this link, and this is not the best design in my opinion. So what I like to do, and there are many ways actually you can adjust it, and I will only show you a couple of ways, but by no means this is not the best or only way. You can make adjustments many ways. So one of the ways is you can select the header of this card and just use the padding to delete it like this. And as you can see, it will delete the padding and make it much different. I mean, why would you want that? Well, because first of all, we want to select this link and make it full width. And this way you can see that now, if we click somewhere here, it will work as well. So if we do that to the second link, you can see it will work here as well, but it will not work above this link. As you can see, this is the area which is clickable. So if we want to make the whole card header clickable, again, there are many ways to do that. The easiest one is to select the header. So right now I set the padding to 0, so there is no unclickable area. All of the clickable area right now is the header. And well, we can, for example, select the link now and add some padding like this. And now everywhere you click will be clickable. So maybe this is what you want. Another possible way to do that is using classes. So if you prefer to use classes, that's totally fine. For example, I personally often just add a class card header, and I will set the padding to 0. And as you can see, it affects all of the card headers on my website. Of course, if you want to target specific areas, you can also create a class and target just this header. But this one works for me. So what I like to do now, I take all of the links and make them full width like this. But I also like to create a class for this link. So let's say new link. And inside this class, I would like to add padding to this link. So let's say 28 pixels on all sides, or maybe 20. Like this. I also don't like this underlining here. As you can see, this is underline design. We can go to typography, and by default, you can see the decoration is set to none, X, but it is added that anyway. And this is because it is how it looks by default. So if you want to get rid of this underline, you need just to click again on this X, and you can see now it's gone. Again, you can adjust whatever you want. You can make them like underline, you can make them totally like capital letters. You can make them small letters. Well, I think let's make it capital letters. We can add some spacing if you want. We can make this bold. We can change the color like that. And now, as you can see, it only affects the first one, the first header, but we can copy this link, select all of the other links, and copy paste this class, and it will give us the design we want. For the content area, I just suggest to setting the bottom margin to 0, because as you can see by default it adds this margin. It means that it is not perfectly aligned. You can see that right now we have a similar area on top and bottom, but on the third one we have more because there is a margin. So what I recommend to do is always get rid of this bottom margin. Another thing I would like to do here is you can see between these cards we have no space, but we have rounded corners and it doesn't look very good. So what we can do, this is what I mean, as you can see we have this like rounded corners, but then no space between them and it doesn't look very good. So what we can do, we can just manually add the margin under each of the cards like this. This is totally fine. As you can see, it totally works. But again, you can see that our header has the border underneath, which is kind of becomes double border and it doesn't look very good. So let's go back and well, we can get rid of this border by going to our card header class and we can go to border and type 0. Of course, it will remove the border here, but let's see how this looks. At least it looks much cleaner. And you can easily bring back the border if you want by adding it to this div container Bric, which has the content. So let's add the top border here, and we will add the one, not on all sides, just on the top. And we will make it, oops, we will make it something like this. So the same color we have for all other borders. So now this way you can see that we don't have the border, but when we click on it, it appears. So maybe this is what you want. Again, there are so many ways to do that. I'm not even sure this is the best way. This is the first time I am actually doing that. But as you can see, it's super, super flexible. Another thing you might want to do, you can select the card and you can actually adjust the rounded corners. You can make them round, you can make them rounded, or you can make them completely square, which probably what I will do here because I do like to have cleaner look like this. And yeah, it looks okay. I think I don't need the top border here because what I want to do, I want to add background color to this header. So I can add it to the link and it will work. But because we have this header anyway, it already has this kind of grayish color. So we can select it and change it to something different, wherever you want. So let's say this is what we want. Well, maybe not that much, maybe closer to green a little bit, like this. Okay. It also can be gradient. So if you want, you can switch to gradient. And let's say, again, we want something like this, and it will work perfectly fine. The card itself also has a border, as you can see. If you select the card, you can also disable the whole border. And this way, you can see it doesn't have any border anymore. I don't know if you prefer this. You can actually add border just to the header and get rid of the border for the whole card. There are so many ways you can do that. I mean, I cannot cover all of this in this video, but as you can see, it is super, super easy to adjust the design, the link size and how it works. As you can see, we can click here and it will still work. There is also a way, for example, we can add some plus icon or chevron, like down or up, whatever you want. We can make it actually rotate on click or change color. It's so easy to do this block 6. I will probably do that in another video because this one is already a bit too long. So hopefully next week, when I get time, I will come up with this tutorial and share it on this channel. So if you are new, subscribe and stay tuned. Here I will help you use blocks and become a master of this, I think the best website builder for Mac in 2026. So thanks for watching. I will see you next week.